Members and chair and members and guests. The F2 is constructing a speech, and this is how you're supposed to make it flow. So this speech was, what time do you call this? And straight away at the beginning we were told to set the tone. We were told it sounds a little bit like an admonishment, you know, the wife moaning at the husband, or somebody moaning at the kids, you know, not getting up and everything. But it didn't actually mean that. It's explaining about bodily functions throughout the day, what actually happens to your organs and everything. And this got my attention. I think it got everyone's attention, and I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. And she started off, and it flowed through the day. Started off at a certain time of day, and it flowed all the way through, so you knew what you were going to expect. So having got the audience's attention, and she had a confident stance, so you knew she knew what she was talking about, the speaker. And we started off with an early gesture which loosened everybody up when she went some funny head on the shoulders thing. And she used her hands a lot to enforce the message and the narrative, which is good. So using gestures to complement the message that you're making helps, because it makes people understand more. And there was eye contact as well. I was watching the eye contact. So she looked at everybody, which is another good point to keep people's attention. Humour is always useful, but it's very difficult humour to use in speech, and it was used quite a lot in this one. And one of the first ones I got a few giggles was about the bowel evacuation at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think a few people identified with that because there's quite a few giggles and people. So the overall content of the speech was good because it was about food, stomach, certain times of the day, and it flowed through the day hour by hour, touching the stomach, sort of enhanced it a bit. And there was quite a few gestures. I'll mention some of them. Semi-putified state, vomiting on the lectern, and the phone calls, and office typing, and vacuum cleaning. So the arms and hands we use a lot to enhance the speech. So using gestures is always very useful because it's physical, visual. And it flowed well. There was a beginning, telling you what it was all about. There was a middle, explaining all the functions of the body and the times and everything. Then there was a good ending as well. Ended well, because if you can end on a humorous note, that's always useful. And this speaker ended on a humorous note, and leaving the audience wanting more by saying, what happens between 7 and 9? What do you enjoy doing between 7 and 9? And everyone was thinking, oh, I'm not going to tell them that. But she didn't let on, so she just left us all thinking. And that was the end, which is really good. So it left the audience wanting more, ending on humour. Now, in every speech you have to do learning points when you're evaluating. You have to pick holes in it, find things like the speaker's doing wrong, like being lectured, fiddling with her nose or something, but she didn't do any of that. So what did happen was the thing in the middle with the lights. She stopped and queried the lights. Initially I thought, don't do that, you shouldn't. It's my turn. No, initially I thought, you don't stop, because you probably don't realise you've gone quicker than you thought, and you know, it's not going, the timing isn't going right, but she was actually correct. So it was a good thing to do. Otherwise you would have still been standing there now, speaking. Because what you can do if you speak too quickly and you finish before the time is you can have an extra bit, prepare it so you can keep on going. Or talk slowly, so it's too late by then. You know, these are the things you learn later on. On F2, I mean, it was great. The timing on there was really good. The voice, there's something called pitch, pause and pace, the 3 Ps. the pitch of the voice, putting a pause in for effect, and the pace, if you go too fast or too slow. And in this one, I think possibly on here you could go a little bit slower, because if you talk like this all the time, if you speed it up a bit and slow it down a bit, it's more flexible and it leaves room for people to laugh, and you can just pause and wait for them to stop laughing. And things like that. But these are all things for the future. But for an F2, I was surprised how well it flowed. And it was very easy to understand, and the diction was very clear and concise. So easy to understand, easy to listen to. Good, well-constructed speech. So well done. And I look forward to hearing the F3.
F3.